As a medical doctor, I've spent many years helping people with their health problems. But there's one thing that my patients hardly ever bring up to me. No matter how long they've been suffering, and no matter how bad it is, they rarely tell me about their bladder control problems. I understand why. They're embarrassed, or they think it's too trivial for my time. But if I don't know about their problem, how can I help? And that's why I'm speaking to you today. Because if you have bladder control problems, I can offer you relief. Relief not just from daytime leaks, urgency, or frequency, but nighttime relief too. Blessed 24-hour relief. Even if your problem is so bad that you have to wear bulky, stinky, unsanitary adult diapers, and even if it's been going on for years, I can offer you relief from urges that come on so suddenly that you're afraid you won't make it to the toilet. Relief from those leaks or dribbles that happen every time you cough, sneeze, or laugh. Relief from smelly, uncomfortable pads that you're forced to wear. Or worse, the horrible adult diapers that are hard to hide under your clothes. Because that's no way to live. You deserve to be dry, comfortable, confident, and free from the pads, diapers, urges, leaks, and frequency that hold you hostage. I can offer you relief, because I have a solution containing natural ingredients that doesn't involve drugs, surgery, or even a visit to the clinic. But I urge you to use this solution now, because this I can promise you. If you don't do something about your bladder problems, now, they'll only get worse. If you have any sign of bladder control problems, the last thing you want to hear is that it will probably get worse over time. But unfortunately, it's true. I wish all my patients knew this. If you don't take care of your bladder now, you could eventually end up spending the rest of your life in adult diapers. That's the nature of bladder problems. They get progressively worse. Right now, you might have to get up 2 or 3 times a night to go to the toilet. You might even think this is normal. During the day, you may leak a small amount of urine when you sneeze or laugh. And maybe you think of this as just a part of aging. Or maybe your urge to urinate comes up suddenly, making a trip to the bathroom an immediate need. And again, you may think of this as nothing much to worry about. But if it's left alone, your condition will only get worse, perhaps leading to complete loss of bladder control. Bladder problems only control you if you let them, and it's time to stop letting them. No matter how bad your bladder problem is today, and no matter how old you are or how long you've suffered, you can help regain control. You can go for hours without visiting the toilet, sleep soundly through the night, laugh, sneeze, or cough without worrying about leaking, throw away the pads and diapers, feel dry and odor-free once again, enjoy sex without embarrassing leakage, and feel confident and carefree again, and all without drugs, surgery, or complicated exercises. Because there is an exciting solution that gets to the hidden cause of bladder control problems. It's fast, acting in as little as 7 days. It's effective, working for an incredible 9 out of every 10 who try it. And it's gentle, with no harsh side effects. And it contains natural ingredients, with no drugs or harmful chemicals. And best of all, your satisfaction is guaranteed. It's a solution that you've probably never heard of before, and I can practically guarantee your doctor doesn't know about it. Now, I want to tell you about this exciting solution so that you don't have to live with a finicky bladder anymore. Instead, you can have 24-hour bladder control. Hi, my name is Dr. Richard Fox. I've been a practicing physician for many years, and in my medical practice, I've seen hundreds of men and women suffering with loss of bladder control. Now, for years, I felt helpless to give them the relief they need. There were no good treatment options, even though the condition is so common that over half of all adults over age 65 report some bladder leakage. Well, maybe you've tried different methods of bladder control already. If so, you probably weren't very happy with the results. If you've used pads or diapers, you know that they're no solution. They're inconvenient, they're uncomfortable, unsanitary, they often leak, and can lead to infection. If you've used drugs, you know that they cause terrible side effects such as constipation, upset stomach, and headache that can be so bad that 50% of users in one study stopped treatment within 1 year. And if your doctor recommended Kegel exercises or biofeedback, you know that these methods can be difficult, time-consuming, and are only partially effective. You could also have surgery to correct the problem, but surgery often leads to higher rates of urinary tract infection, urge incontinence, and voiding dysfunction. And on top of that, it's expensive and painful. With so many of my patients needing a solution that really works, I decided to do my own research to find the ultimate answer for bladder support. First, I got to the source of the problem. Now, I don't want to get too technical, so I'll keep this explanation brief, but I hope interesting. Now, it all starts in your pelvis, a busy place with an intricate and amazing array of dozens of muscles and organs. The muscles of the pelvis work to keep the organs in place, along with managing the influx and outflow of waste. There's one whole set of muscles that is constantly at work to keep you from urinating until your brain says, go. These are your pelvic floor muscles, bladder muscles, and urethra sphincters. Your pelvic floor muscles stretch from one side of your pelvis to the other. They support your bladder, rectum, and uterus if you're a woman, or prostate if you're a man. Then there's your bladder, a muscular sac about the size and shape of a pear. And when it's full, it tightens, and urine is released. You also have two special muscles that help to hold in urine. These are the urethral sphincters. They are located on both ends of the tube that carries urine from the bladder. Now, as you read this, your urethral sphincters are clenched. You can't feel them clenching, though, can you? Amazingly, they hold tight without any effort or thought. That is, they hold tight when the muscles are strong. But just like other muscles, your pelvic floor and urethra muscles can shrink and weaken, causing them to loosen their grip. But what causes these essential muscles to go weak? On the surface, there's a lot of reasons you might lose bladder control. Some people are genetically predisposed to have weak pelvic muscles. Others notice problems only after certain life stages, such as pregnancy or menopause. And men tend to develop bladder problems with age, as their testosterone production slows, causing weak muscles. But no matter what first triggered your problem, it all comes down to those weak muscles. When your bladder, pelvic floor, and urethra muscles are strong, they can handle any extra pressure from a cough, sneeze, or laugh. But when they're weak, any sudden pressure can push urine out of the bladder unexpectedly. And what's more, a weak bladder muscle can't completely empty your bladder. That's why you might feel the frequent urge to go, especially when you're lying down. Also, as the bladder does not empty completely, the stagnant urine in the bladder can lead to infection. This can cause the feeling that your bladder is not completely emptying, so that you constantly feel like you have to go, even when you don't. So the solution is to strengthen your bladder muscles, pelvic muscles, and urethral muscles. But these aren't the kinds of muscles that you can easily strengthen through simple exercise. There's a better way. And the good news is, I found it. I really did my homework on this one, researching countless so-called remedies. But there was a problem with nearly all of them. They didn't work well enough to meet my criteria of complete bladder control. From angelica leaf extract to uva ursi, I looked at the evidence, and nothing, but nothing, had the scientific evidence behind it to convince me. I kept looking, and after months of research, I finally settled upon 7 ingredients that met my expectations. And each of these 7 ingredients works a little differently to help strengthen your bladder function, reduce inflammation, or support bladder health. The good news is, each ingredient has scientific research backing its effectiveness. And, even more important, the formula I created using these 7 ingredients has been tried by literally hundreds of people. They are proof positive that it can work. So let me introduce you to the formula that could help improve your bladder control. Now, I call it Bladder Rescue because that's what it does. It helps rescue you from wetting, urgency, frequency, and more. Now, I can go on praising Bladder Rescue, but it might be a better idea to let you hear some of the comments I get from people who have used it. I must say, hearing comments like these on a regular basis is really gratifying. In fact, I believe formulating Bladder Rescue is more gratifying than anything I've ever done, and I am eager to share it with you. Now, the really great thing about Bladder Rescue is that you can start to see the positive difference in as little as 7 days. That's right. In just 7 days, you could begin to change your life. Now, imagine if you could toss away the pads, never buy another adult diaper, and sleep soundly through the night. Shop or drive for hours without stopping. End the embarrassment, and regain the confidence and comfort you've been missing. Bladder Rescue is the easiest solution you'll ever find. Its ingredients go to work immediately to strengthen your bladder, pelvic floor, and urethra muscles, and inhibit hidden inflammation and infection. In just 1 week, Bladder Rescue could help you dramatically decrease the number of times you have to go during both day and night. And Bladder Rescue just keeps on working, helping reduce urgency of urination, frequency of urination, and leakage. And what's more, Bladder Rescue fights the hidden cause of muscle weakening so that you don't have to worry about bladder control. Let's take a look at the special ingredients in Bladder Rescue that could give you back your life. Starting with an ancient seed with a modern twist, Bladder Rescue ingredient number 1, pumpkin seed extract. Throughout their history, many Native American tribes relied on the seed of Cucurbita pepo, or field pumpkin, for urinary health. Now, when Europeans settled North America, many of the old ways were lost, including the healing secrets of pumpkin seed. Now, it took several hundred years and the work of scientists 6,000 miles away to rediscover those secrets. However, scientists recently discovered that the ordinary pumpkin seed extract was not well absorbed by the human body, as it was fat-soluble. So they came up with a new, water-soluble extract. This new pumpkin seed extract worked far better at strengthening the bladder and urinary tract. In fact, it helped slash frequent urination and leakage up to 57%. While most women would be thrilled with such a huge improvement in their symptoms, I wanted to give people suffering with bladder concerns a little more relief. So I kept looking, and that's when I discovered arguably the perfect companion for the new pumpkin seed extract. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 2, soy isoflavones. These plant-derived compounds do an extraordinary job of supporting normal estrogen levels. But while eating soy can help over the long term, it won't give you the best results in the short term, so you need to supplement it. In the early 2000s, scientists in Japan wondered if adding soy isoflavones to an extract from pumpkin seed might deliver better bladder control. So they designed a study to test their theory. As they wanted to put the pumpkin seed soy isoflavone combination to the most severe test, the researchers recruited subjects, women aged 55 to 79, who already suffered severe bladder control problems. At the start of the study, the women were urinating with an average of 3.3 times at night, and they leaked urine with an average of 7.3 times every day. The test group was given pumpkin seed extract combined with soy germ isoflavones every day for 6 weeks. And the results were miraculous. At the end of just 1 week, researchers found that the women had already improved dramatically. Many of them didn't have to urinate as often or have as many leak incidents. Results after the 2nd week were even better, and by the 4th week, the scientists rated a full 3/4 of the women as either markedly improved or improved. Frequency of nighttime urination decreased by nearly half. Even more exciting, frequency of urine leaks fell by a whopping 80%. And not long after that, a second study was done to confirm those results. But this time, they also added younger women to the study. Some of the women had been experiencing bladder control problems for years. Others didn't have any symptoms until after menopause. but they all had one thing in common. Their bladders could not be controlled. Now, each of the women took the pumpkin soy combination for 6 weeks, and by the end of those 6 weeks, something remarkable happened. One group of women saw their number of urinary leaks per day fall to almost none. By all standards, these results showed that the pumpkin seed soy formula was effective at controlling bladder and urination for women. Now, hands down, I've seen nothing better in all my extensive research, which is why I recommend Bladder Rescue to all women who are suffering with bladder control problems. But after reading how well it works for women, you might be wondering if Bladder Rescue works for men too. If so, I've got good news for you. Men have their own problems with bladder control. And as men age, they often urinate in smaller amounts and have to get up multiple times during the night to go. Now, many men suffer with a nearly constant urge to urinate, as well as urine leakage or dribbling. Now, the cause is often an enlarged prostate gland, which can block the flow of urine. That frequently happens with the loss of testosterone during aging. The National Association for Continence says up to 50% of men suffer symptoms of an enlarged prostate by age 60, and a whopping 90% by age 85. The prostate gland is about the size of a walnut. It surrounds the urethra just below the bladder. And as the prostate enlarges, it may squeeze the urethra and affect the flow of urine. The same pumpkin seed soy formula was tested on men aged 65 to 88. These were severe cases too. Some of the men had been suffering with frequent nighttime urination for up to 19 years, with an average of 5.3 years. I'll tell you, that's a long time to suffer. Many of the men in this study had to go more than 4 times a night, too. Up to 9 times a night, in fact. These were some tough cases. Yet, the pumpkin seed soy formula did its job. Nighttime urination frequency decreased about 40%, and 87% of subjects were significantly improved or improved. A final study on the pumpkin seed extract was done in 2013. This study recruited both men and women who had bladder control problems, and the results were equally spectacular. After 6 weeks of taking pumpkin seed extract, urination urgency fell by 93%. With 4 rigorous scientific studies, this is proof positive that pumpkin seed extract combined with soy isoflavones is effective in helping reduce urine leaks, slash frequency of nighttime urination, reduce urgency, and subdue too frequent daytime urination. Each dose of Bladder Rescue gives you the same amount of pumpkin seed extract and soy isoflavone extract that was used in the study. That dose works 3 ways to help reduce urination frequency and urine leaks. The first, the ingredients in Bladder Rescue work to build and strengthen your pelvic floor muscles by increasing a hormone necessary to strengthen those pelvic muscles. Now, second, it helps relax muscles while reducing bladder volume. And third, it is an anti-inflammatory, again helping to reduce the inflammation that can cause frequent urination. Put those tasks together and you have the most powerful bladder control solution I've ever seen. It's head and shoulders above the alternatives. So whether you're male or female, it is time to try Bladder Rescue. And there's more. Estrogen is a substance that helps keeps the tissue of your bladder and urethra healthy. But when estrogen production declines during perimenopause and menopause, the health of your urinary tract declines with it. The tissue that lines your bladder thins and dries out, and that makes your bladder more sensitive to irritants and more likely to leak. And what's more, lack of estrogen can cause your pelvic muscles to weaken. The result can be urinary frequency, leakage, urgency, and recurrent urinary tract infections. And that's why Bladder Rescue also contains a healthy dose of soy isoflavones. There is scientific evidence that soy extract decreases the wasting of tissues where your bladder and urethra meet. And that means you have fewer urinary urges and leaks. There's also scientific evidence that soy isoflavones improve the function of your bladder muscles, reducing overactive bladder symptoms. The pumpkin seed soy combination is, in my opinion, the most powerful combination of dietary ingredients there is for bladder control support and improvement. Now, I could have just put those two super ingredients in Bladder Rescue and called it a day. I could have been satisfied that my formula reduced bladder leaks by 80% and that it was effective in 9 out of 10 cases. But I wanted Bladder Rescue to be without doubt the absolutely, positively, hands down, best natural solution for bladder control support and overall urinary tract health. And that's why I added 5 more special and powerful ingredients to Bladder Rescue. Together, they work to help support bladder and urethra muscles, reduce inflammation, support healthy hormone balance, protect your cells from free radical damage, and boost control of your bladder. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 3, magnesium. Now, as you've seen, if your bladder muscle is weak, you're likely to leak urine no matter how hard you try to hold it in. And that's why it's important to give your bladder all the support it can get, which means making sure you have plenty of magnesium in your system. Magnesium helps protect you from what's called spontaneous bladder muscle contractions, which happen when you leak, when you cough or laugh. They happen when pressure on your bladder rises above the pressure of your urethra, resulting in sudden bladder emptying. Magnesium strengthens your bladder muscle so that it's not overtaken by sudden pressure, regulating abnormal bladder muscle contractions. Now, a study reported in the prestigious Journal of the American Medical Association shows that magnesium relieves the urgent need to go in both daytime and nighttime. But here's the problem. Most Americans get only about 250 milligrams of magnesium a day, and that's well below the recommended daily allowance. Now, older adults are especially at risk. As you age, you're less able to absorb magnesium from your food. And one of the most common forms of magnesium in vitamin supplements, magnesium oxide, is tough for your body to absorb. And that's why I added a healthy dose of magnesium citrate to Bladder Rescue, to help strengthen your bladder so you can fight leaks. But that's not all I added to the pumpkin seed soy formula in Bladder Rescue. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 4, cranberry juice. Now, if you're plagued by frequent or even the occasional urinary tract problem, you know how miserable they can make you feel. That's why Bladder Rescue contains a full 200 milligram of cranberry concentrate. Because it's proven that cranberry can help support healthy bacterial balance in the urinary tract. The Harvard Health Letter shows that cranberries work by keeping bacteria from sticking to the lining of your urinary tract. And the widely respected Cochrane collaboration reviewed 10 studies, totaling 1,499 participants, on the use of cranberry to prevent urinary tract bacteria. The conclusion showed clearly that cranberry may prevent urinary tract infections, especially in women who suffer numerous episodes. Now, the reason is because cranberries contain a substance that can prevent bacteria from sticking to the walls of your bladder. Now, men suffer urinary tract symptoms too, and a study published in the British Journal of Nutrition found that men who take cranberry show significant improvement in the rate of urine flow, total flow volume, and the amount of urine left in the bladder after urination. Now, you might think all these ingredients, the pumpkin seed extract, the soy isoflavones, the magnesium, and the cranberry concentrate are all you need to help support and improve your bladder control. But I left no stone uncovered in my search for effective, powerful bladder health ingredients. And that means I added essential vitamins that you may not get enough of in your food or other supplements. Now, you probably take a multivitamin, but many multivitamins don't have the minimum daily requirement of all vitamins. And even if they have the minimum daily requirement, they might not have the optimal daily requirement. And that's why I added vitamins D, B12, and C to Bladder Rescue, because these are the vitamins associated with bladder health, and you need to be extra sure that you're getting enough of them. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 5, vitamin D. Now, research shows that women with pelvic floor disorders like urine leakage and other storage and emptying problems have much lower levels of vitamin D in their systems. Now, conversely, the higher your vitamin D, the less likely you are to have leakage problems. In fact, research from the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey found that those with normal vitamin D levels have a 45% lower risk of urinary leakage, and that's because vitamin D strengthens your bladder muscle. Yet, 78% of American women do not get sufficient vitamin D, even if you take a multivitamin. And if you're past menopause, you also have a higher risk of vitamin D deficiency. And that's why you'll find a full 200 units of vitamin D3, the healthiest form of the vitamin, in Bladder Rescue, to keep your bladder healthy and to give you better bladder control. But vitamin D isn't the only vitamin you'll find in Bladder Rescue. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 6, vitamin B12. Now, a healthy pelvic floor is essential to preventing bladder problems, and vitamin B12 is essential to a healthy pelvic floor. And that's because your pelvic floor is supported by collagen, and B12 is essential to making collagen. In one study, 66.6% of the subjects with leaky bladder were deficient in vitamin B12. Now, B12 can also help prevent an overactive bladder muscle, which leads to frequent need to urinate. And finally, low B12 levels can double your risk of bladder control problems, one study found. Bladder Rescue ingredient number 7, vitamin C. This water-soluble antioxidant plays a great role in strengthening the immune system. Now, on a more particular bladder-specific note, vitamin C may protect the bladder from harmful free radicals that can impair or damage it. And that's why you'll find a healthy dose of this powerful antioxidant ingredient in Bladder Rescue. Together, these 7 ingredients, pumpkin seed extract, soy isoflavones, magnesium citrate, cranberry concentrate, and vitamins D3, B12, and C, are all you need for better bladder control. And together, they have changed the lives of many bladder sufferers for the better. Now, once you order Bladder Rescue, your complete satisfaction is fully guaranteed. If you're not satisfied, for any reason at all, you can return all your bottles, including the one you opened, and I'll refund every penny of your purchase price, no questions asked. And that's my promise to you. Just imagine, no smellier, messy pads or adult diapers. No more being tied to the bathroom. No more waking at all hours of the night to go to the toilet. No more missing out on closeness because you're afraid you could have an accident. You've already tried living with the problem, and you know how frustrating and annoying that is. Or maybe you've tried other supplements or solutions that just don't work. So, what are you waiting for? With my 100% satisfaction guaranteed, there's no reason not to try Bladder Rescue. Plus, if you try it today, I'll give you 3 free gifts and free shipping. Now just think, you can be carefree and confident again. You can shop, drive, garden, or watch movies for hours without the need to rush to the toilet. You can get a good night's sleep without as many trips to the bathroom. And you can do it all for as little as $29.99. And that's all one bottle of Bladder Rescue costs if you order a 6-month supply today. You can get a full 6-month supply to help support your bladder health for half a year if you order today. It's a savings of $119.75 off the regular price. Plus, you get free shipping and handling. You could also choose a 3-month supply for just $33.32 per bottle and free shipping and handling. Or try a 1-month supply for $49.95 and you still get free shipping and handling. But no matter which offer you choose, you'll get the same science-tested, customer-proven, guaranteed satisfaction. Now remember, you have 30 days to decide if Bladder Rescue is for you. And then, if you decide you are not satisfied for any reason whatsoever, just send back the used and unused bottles you have, and I will refund 100% of your purchase price, including the bottle you used. And remember, you get 3 free gifts just for trying Bladder Rescue. Now here's just a quick glimpse of what you'll find in your free reports. Free gift number 1. A special report titled 6 Common Bladder Problems and How to Fix Them Naturally. A $9.95 value, yours free. Now, bladder problems are a nuisance, to say the least, but you don't have to suffer in silence. In this special report, you'll discover natural fixes that will help you take control of your bladder and regain your confidence. You will learn how to improve urinary incontinence symptoms by doing this one thing. In a study, 65% of participants successfully decreased their weekly incontinence episodes with a simple lifestyle change. Train your bladder. You can actually condition your bladder to hold more urine by practicing the simple technique. Relieve constipation. One of the most common causes of a bladder prolapse is constipation. This key mineral can help relieve constipation very quickly. Address prostate problems. An enlarged prostate is often associated with urinating difficulties, constant urge to urinate, and inability to empty the bladder completely. The seeds of this plant help relieve those symptoms, and more. Free gift number 2, a special report titled Health Secrets Doctors Don't Tell You About Your Bladder. A $9.95 value, yours free. A bladder rescue is the best way I know to regain 24-hour bladder control. But at the same time, you need to know certain important facts that can influence bladder control. Warning: the truth about cloudy urine. Your urine may be trying to send you an important message about your bladder health. It's what you need to know. Daily estrogen pill? Why it might be weakening your bladder, according to a health initiative study of 27,000 participants. Here's what you can do to reduce the negative effects. Can food make frequent urination worse? The answer is yes. Homeopathic healers believe certain foods in certain people can cause inflammation of the bladder and urgent frequent urination. Find out if you're a victim. Tired of antibiotics? Many women with repeat bladder infections would give anything to avoid another round of antibiotics. Try this natural solution. It's cheaper, safer, and without side effects. The bladder control breakthrough of the future. Imagine urinating on a schedule you set, not on Mother Nature's. Doctors working on a remarkable device report that it allows you to schedule every urination down to the very minute. The amazing story, and more. And yes, if you order within the next 10 days, you'll get a bonus free gift titled Healthy Sex, Practical Tips. This must-read report is worth $14.95, but you can get it for free. So place your order now. And remember, even if you decide Bladder Rescue is not for you and you request a refund, these gifts are yours to keep. This is our way of thanking you for trying Bladder Rescue. So don't delay. A life with bladder control support is waiting for you. Now, you've seen the undeniable proof that the ingredients in Bladder Rescue are effective at helping relieve and reduce bladder control problems. Now, I want you to have the best life you can, with all the good things that better bladder control can bring to you. And that's why I want you to try it for yourself. Try Bladder Rescue for 30 days. If you're not satisfied for any reason, I guarantee that I will return every penny of the purchase price. To start your journey to better bladder control with Bladder Rescue, click on the button below. Thank you.